Hi, this is Nathalie from LineDotArrow from the Netherlands, and today it is finally the day that I'm shooting my Q&A video. I have been wanting to do this for like 2 years, and every time I almost got around taping the video, recording the video, something was going on in my life why I couldn't do the video. But I did manage to collect all the questions that were asked under the YouTube videos, in the Facebook group, sent to me by Messenger or just by email. So I think I will be able to answer a few of the questions today. In case you have more questions for me, you can always drop these down below the video in the comments, and I can always make a second video if you prefer. But yeah, honestly, I'm very nervous about being on screen with my face. So it's not something that I like to do very often. But yeah, some people did ask, please do a Q&A video. We want to get to know you a little bit better. So here I am trying to answer all your questions, and I hope I will do a good job today. So a few questions that has been asked are, where am I from? Where do I live now? What is my daily job? And then how do I got into crafting, designing, and up to favorite tools, things I really like about crafting, how I get inspired and such things. So I'm first going to tell you a little bit about myself. I was born in Rotterdam in the Netherlands. That makes me a Dutch girl, and I am 55 years old. I will be 56 next April, so in a few months I will be 1 year older already. I am married. I'm married to Bart Heine, and we both have a son together, and his name is Sam. Well, Sam in Dutch. It's short for Samuel, and he is 23. He just graduated from school for his education to become an optician. Yeah, I'm saying it the right way. And he started working since August. He still lives with us because over here in the Netherlands, getting a house as a youngster is extremely difficult and extremely expensive. So you first need a job and save money to do a down payment for your house, and then hopefully there will be a house that you can actually pay for every month. But we will see. He just started working, so we are not there yet. Together with my husband, we have 2 fur babies, Stevie and Buddy. They are Maine Coon not kittens anymore, they're almost 2, but they are ginger, red boys, and they are the little helpers. Those of you who followed me for a few years know that I actually had a helper that was Mr. Supervisor, and that was Bo. And he was a ragdoll with extremely beautiful, he was so beautiful with the blue eyes. But unfortunately, we had to let him go in February 23. And because he used to be in a lot of my videos, he always jumped on the desk. When I was editing, he was next to me. The 2 boys do the same thing, but they do it not as delicate as the other one did. They just jump around and move things from my desk and throw things from my desk and jump on my laptop and put things on air mode, such things. So they are not as delicate as the other one. They are not really helpers also, but yeah, we love them, and we are so happy they are with us. And I'm especially happy because I am home alone a lot when I'm not working. In the weekends, my husband has to work on Friday evenings until late. My son has to work on Thursday evenings until late, but also on Saturdays, the same as my husband. My husband sells kitchens. He is a kitchen advisor. He loves his job, and I believe he's very good at it. He is really a people person, and the stories he tells me when he comes home from work is mostly about how happy people are getting a new kitchen and being excited to purchase something they really save for and really like. So yeah, that is what my husband does and what my son does. And I have a daily job too. Um, I work 3 days at a company that sells tires. And I started there working this March, beginning of March. And I have I'm not sure how to say that, but I got a new contract again. So for another year. And I have to say, I really, really like it over there. I like my job. I like talking to a lot of people, even though it's customer service. So not everybody is happy all the time. But I really like that. And yeah, I think I found my spot again at the workplace. And besides that, I also have like the Etsy store, of course, the Facebook group, the YouTube channel. It's not really a source where I'm trying to make money for a living. It's more like a hobby. But yeah, it does has I do have to earn a little bit of money because otherwise it's only costing me money. But I do love it. So yeah, that is about me. I can tell you a little bit about my parents, because my mom was very creative, very musical also. She did a lot of drawings, paintings. She always was knitting, crochet. She made doll houses for me, for the Barbies to play with from boxes. And yeah, she was extremely creative and very, very talented too, because you can be creative, but it doesn't mean you also have talent. She did. But my mom passed away in 2006 when I was 37 years old. So she's no longer with us. And my dad, I don't believe he was very creative. Honestly, I don't know. My dad got sick when I was 6 years old, and it came to a point real quick that he didn't even recognize me or my brother anymore. He was diagnosed with MS, but we are not certain it. Well, I am not certain it was MS, because if I hear about MS nowadays, it is so different than what my dad was having. Because he also lost, well, knowledge of things that happened in the future. He didn't know who his kids were, so I'm not so sure about that. I am also not sure if he was creative or into music. Well, he did like jazz music a lot, and my son loves jazz music too. And I find myself liking jazz music nowadays too. Not all jazz, but especially the jazz that my son makes, I love. My son is very musical too. My husband too. My son does write songs, compose them, plays all the instruments, and sings. He is on Spotify, and he also has a YouTube channel. In case you are interested, I will link it down below. My husband is also very musical. He used to be a drummer, but he didn't like being on the background, so he started to become a singer. And he is, well, the singer of a band. They used to be doing only like the Blues Brothers tribute things, but nowadays they do a lot of soul music too. And he has a YouTube channel too, and I will link it down below too. And I met my husband through music, basically. We have a music cafe over here in Hellevoetsluis. Well, both, two actually, and I went to both all the time. And he was, I remember meeting him in, it was 1997, December, around this time, because we had a jam session at that music cafe. And he just purchased a house. And we were joking, oh, when you have the keys, we are going to do a housewarming party and make music and do like jam sessions over there and things like that. And imagine, that was 1997, and in 1999 I got to move in with him in that house that we were talking about at that time. We started dating in 1998. We got married. No, we started. Yeah, we started dating in 1998. I started living with him in 1999 because we both had a house. I had a rental. He had his own house, so I moved to him, into his house. And I remember my parents-in-law say, "Well, Natalie didn't move, Bart moved," because I completely transformed the whole house into a warm, cozy spot instead of a bachelor messy place. So they were very happy that I moved in, and we got married in 2000. Um, and my son was born in 2001. So we have been married 24 years this year, and next year it's going to be 25. We wanted to do something special to celebrate, but because of the car accident, I don't think we can afford doing something very special. So we're just going to do a simple celebration together, I think. But it's okay, it doesn't have to be big. So that is a little bit about me. And I think I forgot to tell you that I moved from Rotterdam to Hellevoetsluis. I live in Hellevoetsluis now, and that is about 35 kilometers below Rotterdam, and over there too. So I live very close to Rotterdam. And the next thing you wanted to know is, when did I start journaling and get into journaling? I have been always, I was always very creative. In the past, I used to make hairpins with extremely, like, well, over the top beads and blings, like for special occasions, like a wedding. And I made them in white, some in black when it's for a gala or something like that. I did not sell these very actively. I just made a few for friends and family. I also used to work with clay that you bake in the oven. I did some painting. I like to take photographs and did a little editing in a trial version of Photoshop. I wasn't really good at it, I have to say. But one day I used to look at videos, like makeup videos, where people try to look like an actor or a singer and transform themselves into that person, and then you see the whole process. I really like watching those videos. And one day a video of junk journaling was suggested to me. Sorry, I'm not going to cut it out. It is what it is. But it was suggested to me, and I believe, I'm not sure if it was Gail Augustinelli or Tracy Fox, but I do remember I saw these two persons' videos at the same day. I'm not sure which one was first. And I remember thinking, that you recognize that you like it and that it is your thing that you want to do, and like it all clicked. So that happened. Then I started to collect items to use in the journals, which is very difficult because over here, I mentioned that before in my videos, getting like the old papers is not as easy as maybe in other areas in the Netherlands. And if you are able to get your hands on old documents, which I did, but I had to pay a lot of money for it. And when it arrived, it is all so beautiful. But then I was thinking, well, I'm not going to cut it. I'm not going to put it in a journal because I don't journal myself. I do journal, well, lately I don't, but I used to be journaling in a traveler's notebook that are leather covers with inserts, and then you write daily stuff but I mostly put in little photos of things we did, events we went to, or highlights of our life that happens, especially when my son was celebrating his birthday, or when the dog was laying funny on the couch, something like that. But I started I made a little journal after seeing the video with the things that I could get my hands on. Like Tim Holt stuff was not available yet because people didn't even know what junk journaling was when I walked into a craft store. And I made a little journal to remember my mom. And I did make the whole thing myself from paper. So I did not have a base like an old book. I made it from scratch. And it was not the same that I saw on the videos, of course. It was not like that grungy because I didn't have ink. When I started, I used a bronzer, a makeup bronzer, to make the pages look old, which weirdly enough did work a little, but no, it was not great to work with. But yeah, then a little bit further, I think this was I'm talking about 2015, 2016. I started selling the Starflet notebooks on a Dutch marketplace, mostly because I wanted to purchase things for my own traveler's notebook, and they were hand stitched, and I did everything myself, got it to size, bevel the edges, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, but make the edges smooth, poke the holes, and then do the hand stitching with wax thread. And I sold these on the marketplace, the Dutch marketplace. And at first I added like blank inserts, and later I started making the inserts myself from coffee dyed paper or patterned paper. And at a later stage, I tried to make like junk journal inserts. So like, I think you call them naked journals, that are, you have like design papers, but not too much pockets and stuff. I sold these on the marketplace and people started to remember me. And then somebody asked me, can you make me an Alice in Wonderland journal? So I went over to Etsy because I learned that you could buy digitals. And I purchased a Alice in Wonderland kit. I think it was from Archie Mace, if I'm correct. And I made several journals with that kit. They were all completely different, but they all were ordered through Marketplace, because when you post an ad, people can follow you and can send you a message, sorry, and then ask, can you make me a journal? So this is what happened a lot. But selling on a Dutch platform, especially when it's paper, because a Dutch lady says it's just paper at that time, because they had no clue how much effort, time, and glue goes into it. So it was not like I was selling them for a lot of money. I don't even believe I managed to sell and well, cover the cost that I made. But it was fun because I don't journal in those journals, so sitting on my shelf has no use at all. And after I did that, the questions keep coming about, can you make me a certain journal in a certain theme? So when they asked me to make a journal in a certain theme, I browsed over the Etsy stores to find suitable kits to match that theme. But yeah, a kit is already a certain price, and if you add that up to all the stuff that you already put in your journal, yeah, it's going to cost me more money, because I couldn't sell it for the actual price plus something extra that I put in. So at one point I thought, well, maybe I should make my own kits. Maybe that's easier and cheaper, and I can adjust it to everybody's wish. And yeah, it was not so much cheaper, because I had to I had to buy Photoshop, which is not a cheap program. And keep in mind, I had no clue how Photoshop worked. I never had a course. I never worked with Photoshop before. I just purchased and started making digitals, which didn't look so good, to be honest. So at one point I even stopped, and I thought, okay, this is not my thing. I think after 6 months I tried to pick it up again, and this time I had more luck. I managed to figure out a few of the things that you could do on Photoshop. And I think I made my first digital was a cooking journal for a lady that wanted a cooking journal. And I added pages that were never in my store and will never be in my shop. But the other thing I made was the recipe journal kit that is still in my shop, and I have an add-on. And I have to smile because how I made that is so different than how I make it today. Because I have to say, every time I use Photoshop, I'm just somebody just click on things and see what happens. I do not read instructions. I just go and see what happens, and so I learn. And every day when I use Photoshop, I learn something new. So over the past 5 years, 6, 7 years almost, I learned more and more and more each day. I'm not saying I'm a pro, but I did learn more. But yeah, I started making that recipe kit. And at one point I thought, well, let's open an Etsy store. Let's do that. Let's open an Etsy store. So I applied for the Etsy store, got my name, LineDotArrow. It was, I think it was November 2017 when I did set up the store. It was not open because I had to put things in. But my goal was to open at the end of that year, so December 2017. And when it was around December 2017, two of my colleagues where I worked with for many, many years passed away shortly after each other. The first one died half December, and the second one the first week of January. And the second one was the closest. I worked with her every day, side by side. And I think it was that what happened, but also what happened with my parents-in-law, because they were submitted to a nursing home in May 2017, or July, sorry, it was July. But before that, I had been taking care of them since 2014, because they both got memory issues. One had Alzheimer, and the other one had dementia, and they lived nearby. So I spent a lot of time taking care of them, being there. I spent a lot of time at the ER at night, next day go to work. And that's also the reason why I started to think about opening an Etsy store. I had so much time. Well, I had more time to spend for myself, because they were in a nursing home. You still have to take care of them. It's not going away, but it's less intense. But due to the fact my colleagues passed away, I did not open the Etsy store in 2017. It took me 3 years to open the Etsy store. So, and the reason for that was in 2018, my husband, due to the fact his parents were having like Alzheimer and dementia, and we have been running marathons for years with them. He had a burnout. Basically at the same time I had one, but because he was at home trying to recover from the burnout, I kept on working, which looking back wasn't the greatest idea to do. But at the moment I thought, well, we're not going to stay home together, because that's going to be a huge mess. And so in September 2018, I couldn't do it anymore. I just had to tell my manager, I think I'm not able to work full-time anymore. I went for sick leave for 50%. I was in a burnout. So my husband was already back to work. I stayed home. And the first day I stayed home, it was my son's birthday. It was the Thursday I was at home. We had to let go of our dog, a Labrador Buddy. We had to let him go because he was very ill. So it was very devastating for my son to let go of his best buddy on his birthday. But for me too, because I had plans to go outside, walk in nature, to recover from the burnout and to be, balanced again. So yeah, I couldn't do the walks with the dog. And so instead I picked up crafting again. I started making more digitals. I didn't put any in the shops yet. I wasn't able to even go there. I just wanted to be creative, and I started making journals, a few more, also a few orders that people well, asked me to make a journal for them. So I did that. There was a lady that purchased several journals from me. She wanted different themes, so I made it for her. And that was during 2018, 2019, and January 2019. I was already back to work again, so I restored very fast, I think. So yeah, then we got into 2020. I have to say I did not thought about opening an Etsy store at that point either, but then Corona hit and I was not allowed to go to work at all. I had to stay at home. I had to work from home, be in the home. Well, you were not allowed to go anywhere, just shopping and for walks. So, and my husband had a strange period at work because everybody wanted to improve their houses, make, well, new windows, new bathrooms, new kitchens. So he had a 2 tremendous busy years. It was insane that people wanted to purchase new kitchens all of a sudden. But yeah, he was working a lot and I was at home a lot working also. But the more you work from home, the more you get disconnected from your work, from your colleagues. So I figured, well, I need to find a way to not be alone all the time. So I opened my Etsy store on my father-in-law's birthday, and that was the 29th of April in 2020. And when I applied to open a shop, obviously the LineDotArrow shop name popped up because I entered my email address and it was connected to me. And I could delete the whole store and open a new shop, but I thought, well, I'm just going to keep it because there was a lot already set up. And yeah, that's how the shop was born. It was a long run. It took me like 3 years to finally open it. Yeah, and the LineDotArrow name came from bullet journaling. I wanted to do a combination between bullet journaling, junk journaling, traveler's notebooks, and the line and the dot and the arrows are things you use in bullet journaling. So that's how the name LineDotArrow was born. And yeah, it's still there. I even made a logo that I scratched into a piece of leather when I was working on a traveler's notebook. And that has to be around 2015, where I already made a sort of logo and it says LineDotArrow already. So I figured I came up with that name 2 years prior when I opened, well, I did a first attempt opening my Etsy store. The first time when I opened my Etsy store, I only had a few items in like single pages. And the person who helped me promote those single sheets was Gail Augustinelli, because she had the Etsy shares on her channel. And I sent her my digitals. And at one point, I even sent her the recipe kit. So she helped me to get a little bit traffic to my Etsy store and have, well, my name out there, which is very hard to do because there are a lot of designers. And she really helped me. And I was also featured in what is it called? The Foxy Rag from Tracy Fox. And that also helped. But I have to say, Gail Augustinelli did a lot because she worked with the digitals. And there was a bunny page. Well, actually, I had 2 bunny pages. And if you know Gail is absolutely crazy about bunnies. And I remember that people saw those pages, came to me, and only could find one. I totally forgot to list the other bunny page. And at one point, Gail said in a video that there was a whole bunny kit, which there was not. So people started chasing the store for that bunny kit. So yeah, I ended up making a bunny kit, of course, that had that one page in that I forgot to list earlier. And so a bunny kit was born, basically because Gail Agostinelli said there was a bunny kit. And to thank her, I made her a journal. It was a altered book from a Dutch book with a girl. It was all in blue with wooden shoes. And to have papers to go in, I made a kit that was based on the Delft's blue, and that is a Dutch thing. So yeah, basically Gail made me make 2 kits. But I'm very grateful that she did that for me and for a lot of other designers. So yeah, that is how the shop was born. I think I have tackled everything about the store now. Yeah, I did. And then of course I moved on to Facebook, having a group, and to YouTube. Well, the Facebook group was basically born because I thought, well, maybe I need to open a Facebook group. I had no clue what it was to run a Facebook group. I did not do any research about it. I just thought, I think I can do it. Let's do it. Because I thought it was nice to have people to talk to and share the same things with, and especially with the Etsy store, I thought it was nice to have a platform where I could also show a little bit of my creative side of the digitals. And during Corona, that was a very welcome thing, of course, having a platform where you can talk and share the passion for your hobby. And from being a platform to promote, it became a platform to connect, which I really like. But we did run a few challenges. We even did a swap, but it's very difficult doing a swap with Dutch people and overseas because it's taking ages to arrive, and shipping is not cheap. So that's basically the reason why I do not have a lot of swaps. Well, I don't have swaps actually, because it's always causing trouble and having to pay like €20. It's around $20, something around that. To send out a journal is a lot of money. So yeah, I had the shop. And at one point I thought, well, I also need a YouTube channel. So I opened up a YouTube channel. I made a video showcasing the single pages, and then I created a few more kits, and after a while I came up with a kit that is called, I think it was Pocket Tags. I don't know the name anymore. It was a kit with pocket and tags and cards, and the recipe journal kit. And I did a video, and in that video I said, well, if there's somebody out there that has a YouTube channel and is like a creative person and wants to work with those papers, I can send them to you. If you do make a video working with them, let me know, send me a PM. And I received a few private messages from different people, and one of those people was Rachel Walters. And she became my first ever design team member, the only one I had for a month, because yeah, you're just starting out, and I didn't have the feeling I was a very good designer. I was just a regular designer, so I didn't thought there were people out there wanting to work with my digitals as a design team. I had no clue. So yes, she did that, and I was so excited, and we got connected. And well, later she started designing too, and later she started doing videos where she talked instead of just having a music flip through of the journals. And we did a few collaborations together too. And if you don't know Rachel, I'm sure you know her because she's from Rich and Bella Crafts. Yeah, she is huge. And in January of 2021, I think it was, if I'm correct, or 20, I'm not sure even. No, 21. I did a call out for design team members and I received so many applications. It was insane. So I selected a few people, and that were the first arrows I ever had as a design team member. And I really love working with them. And most of them left because they had health issues or too much pressure because they did other projects too. So it's not like I kicked them out or something. So if you're watching the old design team members, if you ever want to come back, you are more than welcome. But that was the first design team ever born, and we worked together for a few. Some did manage to stay with me for, well, not managed, some stayed with me for 1.5 years. And the design team I have now is a very steady team too. Like Suzanne, she also started designing and has her own Facebook group channel, Non-Stop Papercrafts. We did collaborations together too. She is on the design team for 3.5 years already, and Stacy, I think for over 2 years, maybe even longer. So yeah, that is how the design team was born, together with a YouTube channel and the Facebook. I also received questions about my favorite tools. Sorry, I have to just adjust myself a little. I would say the eyelet setter, the crocodile. The pink one that I use is a second-hand one. I actually had to save money to buy a second-hand one. And I like to put eyelets in a lot of things, and I also like layering. So I think my favorite tools are an eyelet setter, eyelets, and laces. The eyelets is also something people want to know where I got those. I will try, if I don't forget, to link it. Otherwise, please ask me, but I will try to put a link down below. They are ripped. They are from AliExpress. I hardly buy on AliExpress, and I never buy on Temu, because Temu and also AliExpress uses designs that people like I make and print them off and sell copies of them, which is not allowed. So that is the reason why I don't buy crafting supplies like papers and such things, because I ordered one time, I think it was in 2017, and it arrived, and I know it is from a other designer. She sells those kits in her Etsy, and it was sold on AliExpress. I never used it, but that's how AliExpress works. I'm not saying you're not allowed to buy from me on Ali or Temu, but that's the reason why I don't buy over there. But I do buy like metal things where I'm sure they are not copied from people. And an eyelet, I thought, is kind of safe to purchase. So that is an item that I use a lot, the ribbed eyelets, and I will link it down below. And other favorite tools are, of course, I like Fabritech, and it's not something that I use for many years, because I think the first time I got it was in 2022 by accident, because I saw it on Amazon, but Amazon.com, and Amazon.com is in the US, and the US doesn't deliver to the Netherlands. So I think it was Heather, she tipped me and said, well, you have to buy on the UK site, and they do ship it to the Netherlands. So I'm finally able to get my hands on Fabritech. And I also use a lot of art glitter glue, and that they sell that nowadays in my favorite shop, Duweding, in Spijkenisse. So yeah, that is a huge difference. A good glue makes all the difference in the world. A paper trimmer is also a very handy tool, and a good pair of scissors. And the thing I absolutely love the most, well, two things actually, is my printer. I have a HP Envy 4500 printer. It is, I think, from 2016, when they started making printers that you could connect to Wi-Fi. That was one of the first printers that could do that, well, the series in that year. I receive a lot of questions about the paper that I use, and I will link the papers that I use down below. I always print my journal pages on regular copy paper. I always print the ephemera pieces on a little bit more sturdy paper. It's like a presentation paper. I'm not doing that because I wanted a brighter color or a more crisp image. And to be honest, I don't really see a difference between the regular copy paper or on the heavier paper. The only thing I print is the only thing why I print on heavier paper is because it goes so well in my brother's ScanNcut. And the brother's ScanNcut is a tool that I absolutely love. It was a big investment. I did purchase it myself, so I'm not promoting it. I didn't get it for free. My opinion about that tool is because I really like it. It's an honest opinion. I did some research before I start buying a device that could cut things out for me. And the reason why I chose the ScanNcut was basically because you press scan and direct cut, sorry. You put your papers in, it scans and it cuts and you're done. You don't need to say things to your computer or send from your computer to the actual device. It is literally scan and cut. And I believe I have a video that is the first video I ever made with the ScanNcut. I think it's called like the fuzzy cutting the easy way, where I scan and cut a set of butterflies, really tiny ones. And I think it messed up 2 butterflies because it cut inside the butterflies because there was no edge around those images. And I believe a few people purchased a ScanNcut after seeing that video. But again, it was not promoted or gifted to me to promote at all. I really like my ScanNcut. So if you are looking for a device that can help you with fuzzy cutting, do some research about the Brother ScanNcut. It might be the right tool for you to use. Another thing that has been frequently been asked is, where do you get your inspiration from? I have to say, back in the days, I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I followed a lot of people. And the reason I don't follow them is not because I don't like them anymore, but I simply don't have the time to watch YouTube as I did before. I do watch the design team's videos, of course, which is already something I really have to fit in my schedule. Otherwise, I can't see those videos. So I think mostly I do remember that I saw projects, of course, and I think when I'm working with paper, maybe I remember seeing it. I'm not sure if I'm copying things. I probably am. I'm not doing that on purpose. If I know I am copying a video, if somebody inspired me, I will definitely link their video down below. But like I said, I have not been following YouTube channels like I used to, like binge watching, like watching 5-6 videos a day. I do not have the time. If I manage to see the design team videos at the end of the month and all of them, I'm a lucky girl. So I think I am inspired by the things I saw in the past, but also the things you see in daily life. For me, it works that way. I don't want to sound corny, but yeah, it is what it is. When I'm outside, I can see like details. I'm very into details. So I can see, when I'm walking to a store with clothes and I see a certain pattern or stitching, I normal people say, oh, that's a nice skirt, or that's a pretty dress, and I'm thinking that's a nice design. If you combine that with this and that, and you have a beautiful botanical kit, and I love the stitching that makes it grungy. So yeah, that's how my brain works. And sometimes I do, I'm out with my husband, and then we say something, and I say, oh, that would be nice for a kid. Then I see like, well, just a boat, and then I'm thinking about sailing, and I'm thinking, oh, I need to make a kit with water and a theme. Oh yeah, maybe sailing or beach, something like that. I never made a kit with the beach theme, but this is just an example. So that's how my brain works. And I also find it very difficult to prepare projects very detailed. uh, I tried to do that actually a few weeks, not a few, I think it was 1.5 weeks ago, because I had a live video to do and I wanted to have like a base ready so I could decorate during that live video. And it was like an envelope flip folio. I think I already finished it, but I honestly thought I flipped it away in the bin because I didn't like it. So I made another project on camera. That I'm not great doing that. I wish I was, because then my videos would not be like this, but be straightforward and very, you need this, we are going to do this, and this is going to be the end result. I don't have that. The only thing where I do think about is the challenges, of course, but honestly, when I have to upload a video on Saturday evenings, every week I need to upload a new video. Every week on Saturday mornings, I do have nothing. I still have to make the challenge papers. I have to come up with a challenge, which can change every hour. So, but I always manage to make a challenge, and I always manage to make one that feels right for me. And then I make the challenge papers, I print them, I start making the video, I have to cut the items, and then I'm starting to craft. And of course, I have some sort of idea what I'm going to create. Otherwise, I could not be able to come up with a challenge. But it's not like I have in my mind, I'm going to create this. So yeah, I think my creativity is being sparked by daily things, but mostly on how I feel. It depends on how I feel, what I'm going to create. It has to make me feel happy. I have to, when I create something, I do want to work with those papers right away. Unfortunately, I'm not able to work with all the papers because I end up with no journal at the end of the month due to being sick or things like real life interfere. So I just make small projects, but I used to make complete journals every month. I hope I will be able to do that in 2025, but we will see. But yeah, there will be challenges for sure. And I have a few questions that I saved that were basically asked in the Facebook group. Well, one of the questions is, what do you do for work? But I already answered that. That was asked by Shauna. It was like a year ago or something. So it's not like she recently asked me that. Cheryl asked me, what is your art history? None. I never did any. Well, yeah, I did some handcrafting, like making those hairpins and little clay figurines. Where do you get your inspiration from? Lynn Woodward asked me that. Well, I just answered D. How do you create your digital images, D. Harris? And she also says, this is a very big question, I realize. I make them in Photoshop. Photoshop to create. And sometimes I do use my scanner to scan real ephemera pieces that I am putting into my projects. But after scanning, I do have to make the quality better and make it a crisp image. So I don't do that a lot because it's a lot of work to make them appear beautiful, because the scan is not always very good. But yeah, that is how I create my digitals. Bea de Gries Noorderbos, she asked me which people did inspire you to start crafting. Well, Gail Augustinelli and Tracy Fox and Cindy L. Jamieson. And like I said, these questions were asked over a year ago. She said, I would enjoy seeing your craft room studio. And I always have to laugh about the word studio. This is an office slash wardrobe room, because the closet you see over here is from my husband, and that one, the last door on this side, has things from my well, my hobby, my craft hobby. And over there I collected a lot of books during COVID, and also have, I'm not sure if you can see, but behind I have this white thing, and there you see a lot of books that are all Edith Holden books. And I have like, I'm not sure how many, 20, 21, 25. I have a lot. I started collecting them during COVID. I stopped collecting them now because I have so much. I never have used one in a journal or ripped it apart to use in a journal. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to do that, because I really love those books. But I will show you the craft room one day when it's not a mess, because it's really a mess at the moment. So yeah, my craft room was actually an office, and there was a spare bed over here, but yeah, that had to go. I needed more closets to put my stuff in, and I have an extra desk that I can slide over to this desk. And then over here I have like trolleys, and then I have like a U-shape area where I can work. And when I'm home alone on Saturdays, I sit in that U-shape almost all day, creating free challenge papers, or making a video, or making digitals. April, I would love to know if you all hoard special items, or do you use everything you buy? No, I do not use everything I buy. I do hoard. I do hoard laces that are very delicate or special. I do hoard stuff that was sent to me by the two sisters from Two Sister Jam, or that Yurima sent me in a swap, because she had the most beautiful papers, and I did use a few of the papers, but I still want to hold on to them. So yeah, I do hoard. But that is something I want to change in 2025, to actually use the things that people send me, because I think it's kind of rude just to hoard them and not do anything with them. But it is because I think they are so pretty. So yeah, I do hoard, April. And Jurima Shelby, she's from the Paper Yuri. I did mention her a few minutes ago because we swapped together. She asked me, do you ever have or take time to craft just for you, or are you always working on stuff for the channel and the Facebook group? Well, I do have time to do things just for me, making things just for me, but that is food related. I do not have time I do crafts for myself, but is working on a project that is on my YouTube channel, or that is for a challenge. During the days that I work, on the evenings, I do craft, and usually I have a video on the background and do craft a little for a few hours. Because I can't do a video on working days, because I can't sleep when I do a video. I don't know what it is, but when I recorded a video and edit it and put it out on YouTube, I know it's sort of a rush that you have, and when you go to bed, then you are in your bed, and I can't sleep. So I don't do that anymore, because I have to wake up very early, and the job that I'm doing is requiring a lot of how do you say that? Well, I need to be focused all day. So Tiffany Sue Bedwell, oh, she wanted me to make a video or playlist for a step-by-step junk journal or ideas without using digitals. And she wanted to make a video that anybody can follow along. Yeah, of course that would be fun. She thinks it would be fun. I agree. But like I said, having real ephemera, real old pieces that I want to put in, because I want to make a pretty journal. I can use magazine papers, but honestly, I don't want to put in magazine papers. I want to have the real deal from the oldies. I do want to make a real junk journal with no digitals one day for sure. I do have a video series, well, an actual playlist of making a journal. I think that is the Romantic Rose. That was one of the first series I did with extremely long videos. But I show you how I make the cover, how I make the binding, how I made um, the buttons on the binding, the inserts, the laces, everything is on that video or several videos. But yeah, I have to think about making a journal completely from pretty old papers. It's a good idea. Veronica Gauss Moorcroft, I think she's Dutch. My story, she wanted to hear my story, how I got started, motivated, inspired. Yeah, I think I already tackled all her questions. And Heather Butler would love to hear more about your experience with journal making, what inspires you, and something about me in general. So I think I tackled most of the questions that you frequently ask me, and mostly they were about the eyelets and well, a little bit about me. So yeah, this is the Q&A video. The questions that you asked me, I hope I answered everything. I hope you liked it. I also want to share a little bit about the plans for 2025. And also I want to do a little thank you for everybody that is supportive in the Facebook group, joining in with the challenges, especially with the last one we did together with Terry from Sweet Pea Papers. We did the Christmas collaboration, and yeah, I'm so grateful to have a fun group to work with, but also for the great design team members that I have, the admins in the Facebook group, the other groups hosting the challenges. It is phenomenal. And I never would have dreamed that when I opened my Etsy store in 2017 and closed it right away, a few years later, this would be where I would be at. So I'm very grateful to all of you. And I want to say thank you very much for supporting me and sticking by me. And yeah, 2025 is going to be a different year. We are still going to do challenges. There will be a collaboration in January. I have not checked if I'm allowed to talk about it yet, so I'm not saying anything yet, but one of these days you will see it because it's going to start next week. There will be another Facebook group added to the Facebook groups hosting the challenges, and that is the Facebook group from Sophie van Dalen. She has Sophie's Crafty Corner, and she has been added to the design team too. So I'm very excited about that. And there will be a slight change in the challenge prizes starting from February because some people are winning a lot of papers and other people's are not. And the ones that are winning a lot of papers don't know what to pick anymore. It's a luxurious problem, I know. But I don't have so many kids that if you win several times in a row in all those groups, you end up with like 15 kids. And if you have that 3 times in a row, you don't know what to choose anymore. And I think it would be fun to do several drawings in each Facebook groups for several people to win prizes. So I rather have 5 winners with 1 prize in every group. And that still can be the same person in another group. But then you end up with, because now we have 6 groups. So if you win in all the groups, you can have 6 prizes, 6 kits. So, well, that's doable. So that's going to be a little bit different. And also I want to add a monthly challenge that is going to be a collage challenge. And it's going to start on every Thursday of the new month. It's going to be 1 page with mostly small ephemera pieces that you can collage on tags or in your art book or your daily journal or whatever you use to put your creativity in. You can also make like smaller tags or smaller journal cards or an envelope or a page. So that is fun. And those challenge papers for the monthly collage challenges will only be available in the Facebook group. I don't think I will put them in my Ko-Fi page. It's basically for the Facebook group members just to have fun. There is no winner's drawing. It's just for fun, and you have free stuff to play with. So I think that's a great thing to do. And yeah, next year I also have my 5th year anniversary for the Etsy store, and I'm thinking, should I go big celebrating? Should I go small? So I'm still brainstorming about that. And other than that, I just do what I always do: make videos, make challenges, be in a Facebook group, try to support others with their groups, with their channels as much as possible, because, well, people support me too. So I want to do the same for others. And I just hope that 2025 will be a good year for everybody, not only on the creative side, but on a personal level, health-wise, job-like things, that everybody has a job, is healthy, happy, and able to craft. And I'm going to make it my goal to contribute to that. So I hope that I can inspire more people next year, and I hope that people can inspire me too. So yeah, that is basically it for 2025. Yeah, I think I have everything covered now. If I forgot to answer any of your questions, or if you have more questions, you can always ask them underneath the video, of course, or in the Facebook group, or PM me. I can always make a second video, but I'm not sure if that is really necessary. But if, yeah, it turns out you have so many more questions for me, you can always ask and I will see what I can do. But like I said, this is not something that I like to do very often. I do want to answer your questions, but being on screen with my face is rather scary. But yeah, I thought today was the day I should do it. So I did. So I hope you liked the video. I hope you continue to support me. I hope you leave me a comment. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, but just saw a few videos of me, this is the face behind those videos. Maybe you want to be a subscriber now, or maybe after seeing me thinking, oh no, I don't want to be a subscriber to her. That's an option too. But I hope you are still staying with me after seeing this video. And I also want to say, it's a few days away, but we are almost at the end of the year. I want to wish everybody a very happy new year for you and your family, your loved ones. And I hope we all are very happy and live in good health, have food on the table and a roof over our heads, and be able to craft a little. So this is it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, stay creative. I hope to see you the next time. Greetings from the Netherlands. Bye bye. Bye.